What is up, guys? We are back, keeping you up to date on all the latest wrestling news and rumors. The week is starting off a bit questionable with Monday Night Raw, because apparently they don't really want to give us wrestling, not even a bit of it. So we're talking all of that, and of course all the latest reports to keep you fully up to date. To start off this week, hit those notifications and let's get into it. Coming out of this week's Monday Night Raw, one big complaint and major question a lot of us are having is, where is the wrestling on Monday nights? Because it's almost non-existent, and at this point WWE is about to complete 2 tournaments by giving us less than 20 minutes of in-ring competition. To put it into perspective for you guys, the Dana Brooke versus Shayna Baszler match for the Queen's Crown tournament, which is a first round matchup, lasted 1 minute and 22 seconds. Meanwhile, the 2 Queen's Crown matches that happened on SmackDown 4 days ago, which we complained over the weekend, only lasted under 4 minutes combined. At this point, it almost feels like we are in the Divas era. Some way, somehow, they made it a little bit longer, and Natalya versus Doudrop lasted about 3 minutes. So that means that we have gotten 8 minutes of ring competition on the first full round of the tournament. That is 4 matches in 8 minutes. We got 3 matches left in this tournament, 2 semifinals and the finals. And if WWE continues at this rate, then they're gonna finish that tournament in about 12 to 15 minutes in a span of about 3 weeks. How is this even possible? I'm sure that the finals matchup is probably gonna last like a solid 5 to 10 minutes at the pay-per-view, but this is ridiculous. Monday Night Raw is a 3-hour show and we're getting 1.5 minute matches. The majority of the matches that we got this week were less than 2 minutes, and I'm not just talking about the women's matches. It's ridiculous how much less wrestling we get every single week on a 3-hour show. Besides the main event, everything else is always less than 5 minutes. So rightfully so, WWE is getting a lot of backlash for this. And this goes hand in hand with what FIFO is reporting, indicating that there is a significant frustration from talent and WWE staff about the booking of the women's division lately. They also ended up indicating that Liv Morgan was originally planned to beat Carmella on SmackDown on the first round, but obviously those plans changed last minute. Having Liv Morgan advance to the semifinals and probably all the way to the finals was the right move here, because she is literally one of the favorites that the fans want to see in the finals, so you should be giving us that. You don't have to make her win, but she was obviously the favorite, so why wouldn't you bring her all the way to the end? Very odd booking by WWE, but I'm not even surprised considering that this is something that they tend to do on a weekly basis. On the men's side of things, next week we could have gotten Kofi Kingston versus Xavier Woods, and they could have just hogged it out at the end of it. But instead, Jinder Mahal advances because they really want to give us that babyface versus heel. And honestly, I don't even think Woods is gonna go to the finals anymore, unfortunately. I can see WWE doing the unfavorable thing to us and giving us a Jinder Mahal in the finals so that he could take on a babyface as Saudi Arabia, and Finn Balor winning the tournament, which I'm more down for him winning the tournament, but it is just one of those things where WWE takes us to the finals of these tournaments and they make it to the point where it is way too predictable, or we just don't want to watch those final matches anymore. But enough about this week's rant. Let's go ahead and talk some quick news. It looks like somebody stopped Vince McMahon from making this latest mistake, and I'm glad that was the case. As we got to see in the draft, there were a couple of teams being split off. It looks like AJ Styles and Omos were supposed to be added to that list. Rest of votes indicated that WWE had seriously considered breaking up the pairing of AJ Styles and Omos during the WWE draft, to the point where that was the plan, until people of power, including a main Raw talent, spoke up and expressed thoughts on how Omos isn't quite ready for singles competition just yet, and they actually listened. So congratulations on them listening and Vince McMahon going through with this decision. I obviously obviously said it before that I want to see AJ Styles on singles competition once again, but at the same time, I indicated that I don't think Omos is ready to be a single star just yet. Let him continue hanging out with AJ Styles and getting all of that professionalism from him, all of that experience, and getting all of that advice in the ring when they are together. Omos is obviously a really good talent. They have been building him up as a monster heel, and things have been going well, but that doesn't mean that he doesn't need any more help or that he is ready to take on that singles challenge. In a recent interview with Ryan Satin, we had Becky Lynch revealing the latest in regards to her return to WWE and her heel turn. Despite multiple reports indicating that it was Becky Lynch's idea to turn heel, she ended up denying that, indicating that upon her return, WWE wanted her to be a heel, indicating that it was a very last minute thing. She also went on to discuss why Bianca Belair was basically squashed in their SummerSlam matchup. It was a bit of a vague reason, but she did simply indicate that it was more part of a storyline, stating that her beating Bianca right away set the tone for her becoming a heel and also set the tone for Bianca Belair to be the ultimate underdog. If they would have had a long match, it would have been just that. Bianca Belair would have just lost. But now that she lost so quickly, there's a story behind her. Bianca is back to being that babyface that needs to get this massive victory and build up towards it. And that is the story being told. The theme for this year's Survivor Series has been revealed, and it's not really a surprise because WWE kind of been teasing it, but once again, we are going to be getting the Raw vs. SmackDown brand supremacy theme for the event, and the planned main event right now is Big E taking on Roman Reigns. Talking some Monday Night Raw this week, WWE live event business has slowly declined since John Cena left, and that was proven to really be the case this week on Raw, as WWE just did its lowest attended Monday Night Raw at Chase Center in San Francisco, California. The show only drew 4,000 fans when the maximum capacity of the venue is 18K. Not the best of news for this week Raw. As for what went down on the show, we had Xavier Woods defeating Ricochet in the semifinals of the King of the Ring tournament, Cedric Alexander and Shelton Benjamin defeating Mansoor and Mustafa Ali. WWE actually went ahead and broke up Mansoor and Mustafa Ali because of course they got to give Mansoor a big matchup at Saudi Arabia, and you know he's gonna get that victory. That undefeated streak is gonna continue. It's gonna become bigger than The Undertaker. Watch. Shayna Baszler defeated Dana Brooke. We had Omos defeating the Raw Tag Team Champions Riddle. After the match, Randy Orton laid out AJ Styles. Bobby Lashley claimed that Goldberg doesn't stand a chance at Crown Jewel. Austin Theory defeated Jeff Hardy. In a 90-second matchup, we had Jinder Mahal defeating Kofi Kingston to advance to the semifinals. Charlotte Flair and Becky Lynch team up and could not coexist to take on Bianca and Sasha, who also couldn't coexist. So this obviously ended in a no contest. Everybody knew this was gonna happen. Why do every week we get the coexist angle and it never works out? Doudrop defeated Natalya to advance into the semifinals, and we had the Usos taking on the team that cannot also coexist on a Monday, Big E and Drew McIntyre. The Usos picked up the victory on this one, but they won by countout. In the end, Drew McIntyre laid out Big E to end the show. So that is everything that went down in this week's Monday Night Raw and all the latest wrestling news. If you enjoyed or found it informative, hit those notifications for more coverage, and I'll see you on the next one.